the story has never been told. You know education is better than gold. Before they killed him, I heard him say, let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Your children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Your children unite, oh, and stand for your right. No man fit and hurt. Who ya bless, no man fit and hurt. So brother, sister, mama, papa, make we come together and do that it in silence and you think that you're free. And when the rain falls, it fall on every house. And when the fire burns, it will burn on every house. So let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. That children unite and stand for your right. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. That children unite and stand for your right. Marching down the street with branches of trees, expressing our grievances. Everybody knows that green is for peace, calling our government to address our needs. Before we know it, them French soldiers come. They try to stop us, they shoot us with guns. My brother and Betty fell on the ground. The soldiers came on him, I heard him shouting, let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Their children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Their children unite and stand for your right. You're teaching me in French, but I'm an Englishman. Judging me in French, but I'm an Englishman. You can't speak English, I can't speak French. Yet you are leader on an English land. I don't know what the government is thinking about, but half of the story has never been told. You know education is better than gold. Before they killed him, I heard him say, let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Their children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Their children unite, oh, and stand for your right. No man fit and hurt. Who ya bless, no man fit and hurt. So brother, sister, mama, papa, make we come together and do that it in silence and you think that you're free. And when the rain falls, it fall on every house. And when the fire burns, it will burn on every house. So let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Your children unite and stand for your right. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. Your children unite and stand for your right. with branches of trees, expressing our grievances. Everybody knows that green is for peace, calling our government to address our needs. Before we know it, them French soldiers come. They try to stop us and shoot us with guns. My brother and Betty fell on the ground. The soldiers came on him, I heard him shouting, let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite and stand for your right. You're teaching me in French, but I'm an Englishman. Judging me in French, but I'm an Englishman. You can't speak English, I can't speak French. Yet you are leader on an English land. I don't know what the government is thinking about, but half of the story has never been told. You know education is better than gold. Before they killed him, I heard him say, let's stand for our right. Don't give up the fight. Just children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for our right. Don't give up the fight. Just children unite, oh, and stand for your right. Oh. Bless, no man fake and hurt. Who God bless, no man fake and hurt. So brother, sister, mama, papa, make we come together and do that keep in silence and you think that you're free. And when the rain falls, it fall on every house. And when the fire burn, it will burn on every house. So let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. That children unite and stand for your right. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. That children unite and stand for your right. Marching down the street with branches of trees, expressing our grievances. Everybody knows that green is for peace, calling our government to address our needs. Before we know it, them French soldiers come. They try to stop us and shoot us with guns. My brother and Betty fell on the ground. The soldiers came on him, I heard him shouting, let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite and stand for your right. You're teaching me in French, but I'm an Englishman. Judging me in French, but I'm an Englishman. You can't speak English, I can't speak French. Yet you are leader on an English land. I don't know what the government is thinking about, but half of the story has never been told. You know education is better than gold. Before they killed him, I heard him say, let's stand for our right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite and stand for your right. Let's stand for our right. Don't give up the fight. Let children unite, oh, and stand for your right. Oh. fi conquer. Who that bless no man fi conquer. So brother, sister, mama, papa, make we come together and do that keep in silence and you think that you're free. And when the rain falls, it fall on every house. And when the fire burn, it burn on every house. So let's stand for a right. Don't give up the fight. That children unite and stand for your right. Don't give up the fight. This land of glory, we the Ambazonians, special loyalty. Praise the our Savior who granted us the freedom, and legends to the hero for God alone we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation.
Revolutionary greetings, Amberlanders, children of a revolution, members of the latest community of mankind undergoing genocide from a brutal, unconscionable regime in Yaoundé. Today, our people mourn, but they have been mourning for close to 60 years now without anybody in the world seeming to listen. We have no choice. We have absolutely no choice but to depend on ourselves. We will not be exterminated without a fight. We will not go silently into the night. We will fight. We will fight. We will fight. And God willing, we are going to win. My fellow Amberlanders, children of the revolution, the last generation of our people, the very last generation of our people, who will ever suffer from a foreign terrorist, who will ever suffer alien domination. My fellow journeymen and women of this last generation of sufferers of Ambazonia, I call on you today to take an oath to redouble your effort to tell the world that they will not break us by their massacres. They will not break us by their atrocities. They will instead stiffen our backbone. They will instead redouble our effort. And where we thought of coexistence, we will now talk of a total and unalienable separation that will entail none ever interaction with these murderers from across the Congo. We are at a stage in our revolution where we need to change and grow and expand, so that this year, as we began it with the hope and the clear strategy and the clear determination to end the genocide in our land this year and win the war, that we make this a reality. And I will continue today with some of the last changes that are going in place within the Defense Department as we plan for the takeover strategy this year. We will not be here. I can promise you that. We will not have achieved the gains that we have made and reached the level that we have reached without the unflinching sacrifices of incredible patriots. I know of many General Ivos in this struggle. I serve with them daily. I have heard about some of them. But I have carried out this journey these past few years with one of the foundation of the Ambazonian struggle. A person I have depended on, a person whose fearlessness, whose determination, whose passion is something that was needed if we were to get the defense of our people and our land off the ground. Mr. Kavi Molim, the Ambazonian foot soldier, has been a companion for me this past few years. He must go down. He will go down in our history, in the history of Ambazonia, as a foundation of the revolution. We will not be here today without his unmatched sense of sacrifice, his absolute fearlessness, a determination that until you see him in action, in the field, you will never in a million years believe that such a compact body will pack within it so much punch. As he transitioned into his new role, my brother, my comrade, know that we owe you a gratitude that can never be repaid. The backbreaking work that you did to launch the defense of a defenseless people is something, as I said, for the history book. In our fold, today we welcome Comrade Emmanuel, Mr. Kapo Daniel. Mr. Kapo Daniel will be picking up the duties as Mr. Kavi, the Deputy Chair, transition. He will be coming in as the Deputy Defense Chair in charge of coordination in the savannah of Ambazonia. From a critic, an adversary, now to this. Mr. Emmanuel has shown himself in possession of that rare quality that facts matter, that results matter, and that a man must change his beliefs when facts and results challenge those beliefs. That is a quality that is sorely needed right now for our people. He, along with his colleague of the Atlantic, are stepping into a big shoe and at a very, very critical moment in our history. They must, within the coming month, get the National Coordination Council off the ground and functioning. This should enhance the coordination of the local communities and link them to the national liberation effort, making sure that we are no longer an army of 5,000 or 10,000. We will become a liberation army of 8 million people. That is their job. They must, within the next month, get the takeover plan back on track so that by the end of this year, we have stopped La République genocidal campaign against our people and free our land from alien domination. They must look at the areas, strategic areas, where we need to push in supplies and make sure that those areas of strategic importance get the necessary reinforcement in materials and training that they need. With the armory in place, the Deputy Defense Chair, Capo, and Deputy Defense Chair, Tapang, now have the job to take the struggle to the next level. Our posture going forward will rely heavily on an effective armory for our people. The armory is sorely needed for today and for our posterity, as not just an incubator of Ambazonian ingenuity, but to harness this ingenuity right now to save the lives of our women and children and their homes and their villages. I am calling for the Chief Armorer to launch a Marshall Plan that within the next 3 months, the Ambazonian Armory should produce and deploy at the very least 500 anti-personnel mines so that village roads will be protected and at least pregnant women and children will have the time to escape into the bushes before the arrival of armored genocidal tanks and genocidal genocides from La République du Cameroon. This is an awesome job. This is an awesome responsibility. That we must stop these machines of death rolling through our villages, murdering men, women, and children, pregnant women, incapable of running. We must make sure that we deploy all the means, all the tools at our disposal to slow them down, to give our people a means of escape, to be able to battle them rather than them just rolling through our AK bullets without touching them as they reach our villages and cause mass graves and mass burials. to carry out this awesome responsibility. I am appointing Commander Sebas Rogue. He will become the director of the Ambazonian Armory. He has his work cut out for him. To make sure that all of these changes that are being implemented and these projects that needs to get off the ground, I am today appointing project managers that must make sure that all the nice ideas are implemented, and if they are not implemented, to know where the problem is and where the problem is to solve those problems, because this is a matter of life and death. It's a matter of life and death for the little kids in Gembu village. It's a matter of life and death for the kids in Bambili, in Babanki, for the kids in Victoria, for the kids in Tiko. This is a life and death situation, and the project managers must hold accountable everybody within defense. They must hold everybody accountable that we meet our goals, that all the benchmarks are met, and if they are not met, to know the reasons why. Because at this moment, we cannot have failure, because failure results in the massacre and the burning of our towns and our villages. Appointed to that role as project manager is Mr. Bob Bone. He will be deputized in the role as project manager within defense by Mr. Edwin Foncha. My fellow countrymen and women, in our pain and in our suffering, we must emerge as a people unbent and unbowed and unbeaten. The idea of giving up, the idea that the massacres of our women and children and the burning of our villages, that the scorched earth campaign of death launched by a foreign power on our land will make us put our hand up in surrender and ask for terms from them, should be anathema to our people. That is a philosophy and a thinking that must be shamed out of our communities, out of our land. For anybody thinking that they can kill us to domination, that they can kill us to subjugation, that they can burn us to slavery, we should tell them to get away from us, Satan. Because that is the mentality of slavery. That is the mentality of giving up. That right now we do not need, as we search for the effective response to La République du Cameroon. For so long, we have been fighting an asymmetrical war. A war where for them they have one rules, for us we have a different rule. Where they make a campaign on defenseless women and children, and we make a campaign on the killers of women and children. Where they launch campaign on school children, on pregnant women, and on old men and women. And we go after rapists. We go after burners of villages. We go after death squad leaders. The world has kept silent as we fight this uneven war. They have kept silent as the genocides parade from one end to the other with arrogance. Before Gabu village, there was Bambili, where these genocidaires burned the houses of people, shot their sisters and our cousins and our mothers, and burned them in their houses. A vicious campaign of terror. And you have people like Ministers Abetis and the rest going around Yaoundé laughing about the genocide they are encouraging in their villages. Just today, I am getting report that there is a Salai Emmanuel giving a press conference in Yaoundé with others, talking how they will be going after Ambazonians fighting for the defense of the defenseless women and villages. Days after, genocidaires have murdered in cold blood more than 40 Ambazonians sleeping in their homes. That the Ambazonian people, the Ambazonian community, are not the ones holding press conferences and talking about going up against these genocidaires. It is them. Is a sense of entitlement to the killings of Ambazonia that we cannot ever allow to go unchallenged. How can they be so bold that they are talking of going after me, after Ayaba, after you? Days after they have massacred women and children. What are we doing? What are we really doing? I am asking for 8 million fighters, not 5 million fighters. You out there, you are a fighter. You are a fighter of this revolution. You must battle as the boys that are battling today. From Momo to Fako, you must battle like them. You have the weapon in your hands. Why is it that the State Department is not inundated with 1 million Ambazonian calls right this moment to revoke the visa of somebody like Salah, who is going around as an apologist for the genocidal campaign that is being perpetrated against your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers? Why is the governor of the state that he practices law in, why is his office not inundated with call? Why is the American Bar Association not inundated with calls that they have a proponent for genocide parading as a free person in their country, parading as one of them? You have the tools to change the course of the struggle back at home. Because when you give free space to these people, that is how they make Facebook. And I am not able to come on Facebook and give a briefing on the deaths in our land and rally the support to defend the villages in our land. You give them free pass to prevent you from sending $100 down there, so that an anti-personnel mind is put down to stop these machines of death getting into our villages. You must become a fighter. You must become a fighter wherever you are for Ambazonia. We must take them on anywhere they are. No person attached to the government in La République du Cameroon should be having any visa to enter the European Union or to enter the United States of America. None. Because we have millions of Ambazonians that can call right now to have these people blacklisted as agents of a government waging a genocidal campaign on Ambazonia. We must deploy all of our arsenal as we go into the Marshall Plan in order to get the anti-personnel mines to stop them from entering our villages and protect those villagers, to even give them 30 minutes, buy them 30 minutes, an hour, so that they should escape into the bushes, even those that are pregnant. As we go into that campaign, we must use everything in our arsenal, from the phone calls that you make. Look, Deputy Chair Tapang, within the next couple of days, launch a program. It can be a 3 hours program. You have there the phone number of the U.S. Department of State. You have there the phone number of the U.S. Senators of California, the Governor of California, where people like Salai and the government live, and let Ambazonians in their tens of and thousands call these numbers immediately. Call the offices. Ask for the ambassador of Cameroon to be sent back home. Ask for people like Salai, their visas to be revoked. Ask for them to be put on no-fly list. These are genociders, and they cannot be allowed to parade with the arrogance that the Abetis are parading with. We must go after them from now on, because it is a battle that they have decided that every Ambazonian is fair game. Whether you are a pregnant woman, whether you are a child, whether you are months old, or whether you are 80 years old or 100 years old. They are deciding to wage a scorched-earth campaign on us, and we must go the same way on them. Everywhere they are. They should be the ones hiding and putting their heads on the ground. They should not be the ones standing and holding press conferences. You know, as the Rwandan genocide approached the western Rwandan town of Kugero, Mogonero, a group of community leaders penned a letter seeking protection. They wrote, "We wish to inform you that tomorrow we will be killed with our families." The next morning, the 7 signatories of this letter, along with 3,000 Tutsis seeking refuge at a Seventh-day Adventist church in Nyarubuye, were massacred. The villagers of Ngabu did not have time to write a letter telling the world that tomorrow we will be killed with our families. They did not have that time. The world did not respond to these 3,000 hiding in the church. And they certainly have not responded, as our people have written these letters countless times from village to village, as La République burned down now close to 500 Ambazonian villages, have massacred thousands in cold blood. The world has not responded. Our people, a lot of them are expecting a few leaders to pick up the baton and continue. We must become an army of 8 million for our survival, because there is no white cavalry coming to aid us. We are our own white cavalry. We are the ones. And let me tell you something, Ambazonia. I know we can do it. We have already done it. The brutality of the campaign that they are waging right now on our men, women, and children, the blackmail that they are waging on the Ambazonian Defense Forces, right now, those are campaigns of a people who have lost the war. I beg of you, redouble your effort. Let us end this stuff right now. Don't wait for anybody. Be the change that you want. Be the change that you want. Be the army that you want. We have beaten them. They are latching out now at both our people and the people's army, because they know that it is a fact that if we do what we must, this year, 2020, will be the year of the Ambazonian freedom. I know this. I believe it because I have seen it. I know how we can get there. The plans are clear. It will be activated. But we need every single one of you. Look, for the sake of posterity, I am going to consult the political arm. The Ambazonian Defense Forces will write an official letter to the U.S. Department of Defense, the British Department of Defense, and we will ask formally for their backing in order to stop the genocide in Ambazonia. But that is for posterity. Let the world tomorrow, when the news and the story and the history of the Ambazonian genocide is written, let nobody say that the Ambazonian people did not call, did not write, did not call for help. That is for posterity. You and me and our men and women all over the world are the ones that are going to free Ambazonia. And I have no doubt about that. None at all. And we will do it this year. In that light, I am asking for you to support the Ambazonian Marshall Plan. I am asking. The Armory, the director of the Armory, is going to launch that campaign. I need you on board. We need within the next 3 months to have deployed in the field at least 500 anti-personnel mines to make sure that these people will walk in our land as if they have an abscess underneath their leg, between their legs. That is the goal. We can do it. We can beat that goal. And I beg you, we beat that goal, it will save countless villages from the type of massacre that we saw in Gabu village. Also, in my consultation, once this project gets off the ground, I will be able to come before you and explain to you the reason why we will no longer fight an asymmetrical war. We will fight using the battle plan that they are using. If the world feels that that is a wrong battle plan, they will intervene. But right now, since they are not taking Mr. Paul Biya to the Hague as an international criminal, since they are allowing his henchmen, like the Abetis, like the Salai, to go around parading and laughing about the massacre of our innocent civilians, since that is what the world believes, that is just part and parcel. I will, after my consultation, be coming to tell you what the Ambazonian Defense Forces will entail going forward. They will not battle, come and burn our villages and cross the Mongo and go to sleep and rest. If it is a battle of villages, then let me send a clear message to the world. We will battle in the villages. If they feel that it is okay for military to get into villages and fight with women and children, the casualties, if that is what the world is telling us with their silence, with no reprisals going on the regime in Yaoundé, then so be it. Then so be it. Then let that be the fate of the war in Ambazonia. Let that be the fate of the war between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroon. Right now, for the world, it is a fight in Ambazonia. But let the world understand, and let the Republic understand, that there are two parties to this conflict. There is La République du Cameroon, and there is the Federation of Ambazonia. And the Federation of Ambazonia will defend itself against all foreign and domestic enemies. And if La République believes that the war they are waging against Ambazonia is a war on the villages, then so be it. Then La République villages also become fair game. May God bless the people of Ambazonia. May He take those who have been massacred into His bosom. May He bless our forces in the field. Thank you.